everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back, and thank you for supporting me. I'm Coretta. In this video, I will show how to create a rhinestone and glitter HTV design. Come on, y'all. Let's get started. For this project, I'll be using glitter heat transfer vinyl in the color of my choice, a gray sweatshirt, SS10 rhinestones from the baby's booty. I'll be using an edge paintbrush, a wax pencil, Hotfix tacky tape, and rhinestone flock. I will leave a list of these items in the description of this video. For this project, I will be using Silhouette Studio Business Edition. To begin, I am going to select the text tool on the left toolbar. I am going to click anywhere on the canvas and type the letter D. I'm going to click anywhere on the canvas when I finish typing. Next, I'm going to change the color of the letter. To change the color, I am going to select the letter, and on the right toolbar, I'm going to select the fill panel. It looks like a paint palette. Then I'm going to select yellow. Next, I will change the line color. So again, on the right toolbar, I'm going to select the line style panel, which is the 3 lines. I'm going to select the second icon at the top, which is line color. And then I'm going to select none as my fill color. And that is the icon, the square with the X in the middle. Now I'm going to select my font. To select my font, I am going to make sure that the letter is selected. And then I'm going to select the text style panel on the right toolbar. And it is the letter A with the small letter A. Then I'm going to select my font. The font that I want to use for this project is Varsity Team. So I'm going to scroll down and I am going to select Varsity Team as my font. So I'm going to select Varsity Team as my font. Next, I want to size my letter. But before I size my letter, I want to point out, I'm going to zoom in a little. I want to point out that the bounding box around the letter is larger than the letter. And to get a more accurate size, I am going to make sure that my letter is selected. On the top menu, I'm going to select Object and then Convert to Path. Once you convert to path, you will not be able to change your font again. Now I'm going to size the letter to 8 inches in width and 9.5 inches in height. To size the letter, I'm going to make sure that the letter is selected. On the top toolbar under size, I am going to unlock my aspect ratio. I'm going to change my width to 8 and hit enter. And I'm going to change my height to 9.5 and hit enter. Next, I am going to add 2 images that I want to use with my design. To add the image, I am going to go to the top menu. I'm going to select File. I'm going to select Merge. I'm going to navigate to where the image is, and I'm going to select the image, and then I'm going to select OK. I will repeat this to add my second image. With both images on the canvas, I am going to size and position them. Now that I have the image sized and positioned, I am going to change the color to gray. So selecting the star, selecting the fill panel, selecting gray, selecting cowboys. On the fill panel, select gray. Next, I'm going to create a knockout for the images because I do not want it laying on top of the glitter vinyl. So to create the knockout, I am going to add an external offset around both images. To add the offset, I am going to select the star. On the right toolbar, I'm going to select the offset panel, and it is the star with a offset around it. I am going to select offset. I am going to change my distance to 0.05 and hit enter. I'm going to select sharp edges, and then I'm going to select apply. With the offset still selected, I am going to change the color to white and the line style to none. So I'm going to select the fill panel, select white, select line style panel, select the second icon, and select none. I am going to repeat this for cowboys. So selecting cowboys, select the offset panel, select offset. The distance defaults to the last distance that I used. I am going to select sharp corners, and then I'm going to select apply. With the offset still selected, I am going to go to my fill panel, select white, go to my line style panel, select line color, and select none. Okay, so I'm going to be using Rhinestone and Glitter HTV for this design. So I need to create the layers for each of the Glitter HTV and the Rhinestones. To begin creating my layers, I am going to select this entire design. And then on the top menu, I'm going to select Object. I'm going to select Replicate. And then I'm going to select Duplicate Left. And I'm just going to continue to move that off the canvas. With the design that is on the canvas, I am going to delete this gray star. And I'm going to delete the gray cowboys. And that just leaves the yellow and the white offsets. I am going to select both the yellow and the white offsets. On the top menu, I'm going to select Object. I'm going to select Modify. And then I'm going to select Weld. This is going to be a part of my outline layer. Because Glitter HTV is considered to be a top layer HTV only, it is not recommended that you layer on top of Glitter HTV. In order for me to create my next layer, I am going to subtract out the inside of the outline layer. To subtract, I am going to select the welded layer. On the right toolbar, I'm going to select the offset panel. I'm going to select offset. I am going to change my distance to 0.1. Hit enter. And then I'm going to apply the sharp edge. And then I'm going to hit apply. With the offset still selected, I am going to change the color to black. And then I'm going to change the line style, the line color to none. With the black offset still selected, I am going to duplicate it so that I can use it later. So I'm going to go with the black offset still selected. I'm going to go to the top toolbar. I'm going to select object. I'm going to select replicate. And then I'm going to select duplicate below. And I'm just going to move that off the canvas. Now I'm going to select both the black and yellow layer. And on the right toolbar, I'm going to select modify. And that is the icon with the square and the circle. And then I'm going to select subtract on the modify panel. After I subtract, I am going to delete all of these little pieces on the inside. Once I've deleted the inside pieces, I'm going to select the entire outline. And on the top menu, I'm going to select object. And then I'm going to select make compound path. Once I've created the outline layer, I'm going to remove it from the canvas. And then I'm going to bring back this duplicate here. And I'm just going to arrange this D to the back. Now I'm going to create the inside layer. To do this, I am going to move the gray star off the canvas, and I'm going to move the gray cowboys off the canvas. Then I'm going to select the yellow layer and the white offset. On the right toolbar, on the modify panel, so I'm going to make sure the modify panel is turned on. And on the modify panel, I'm going to select subtract. After I subtract, I'm going to delete all of the small pieces that are inside of this layer. After I delete the inside pieces, I'm going to select the entire yellow layer. On the top toolbar, I'm going to select object and then group. Next, I'm going to make sure that the yellow layer is selected. On the right toolbar, I'm going to select the offset panel. I am going to select internal offset. I am going to change my distance to 0.1 and hit enter. I want sharp corners, and I'm going to select apply. With the offset still selected, I am going to change the color to blue. And I'm going to change my line color to none. I am going to select the yellow layer, and I am going to delete it because I no longer need it. Then I'm going to delete these little small pieces here and here. And after I delete those, I'm going to select the entire blue layer. And on the top menu, I'm going to select object, and I'm going to select make a compound path. So now I've created the inside layer, and I am going to move it off the canvas. And I'm going to bring back the black layer. Now I'm going to create the rhinestone layer. So to create the rhinestone template, I am going to create an offset of this black layer. To add an offset, I'm going to select the black layer. On the right toolbar, I'm going to select the offset panel. I'm going to select offset. I'm going to change my distance to 0.2 and hit enter. Then apply. With the offset still selected, I'm going to change the color to green. And I'm going to change my line color to none. Now with the green offset still selected, I am going to add an offset to that layer. So making sure that the green offset is still selected, on the right toolbar, I'm going to select offset. I'm going to select offset again. I'm going to change my distance to 0.155, hit enter, and then apply. With the new offset still selected, I'm going to change this color to orange. So I'm going to change this to orange. And then I'm going to change my line color to none. I am going to select the black layer and delete it because I no longer need it. The next step is to convert the green and orange layer to rhinestones. To convert to rhinestones, I am going to open the rhinestone panel. To open the rhinestone panel, I'm going to go to the top menu. I'm going to select panels. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to select rhinestones. On the rhinestone panel, there are 4 rhinestone effects. You can choose from 4 different rhinestone sizes. Then there is the rhinestone spacing, and this is where you will decide how close or how far apart you want your rhinestones. Then there is the freehand option to add additional rhinestones. There is a release rhinestones, and this is so that you can ungroup your rhinestones. And then there's a rhinestone counter here at the bottom of the panel, and this will let you know how many rhinestones are in your design. Now I'm going to convert the green layer to rhinestones. I'm going to select the green layer. On the rhinestone panel, I'm going to select the edge rhinestone effect. I'm going to select 10SS, and I'm going to change my spacing to 0.017 and hit enter. I am going to repeat this for the orange layer. Selecting the orange layer, edge 10SS. It defaulted to the last spacing that I selected. And then now I have both of my layers converted to rhinestones. With the layers converted to rhinestones, I can see now that I want to remove the this area of rhinestones right here on the green layer. So to remove those rhinestones, I'm going to select my green layer. And then on the rhinestone panel, I'm going to select release rhinestones. When the rhinestones are released, each circle becomes an individual object. So let me zoom in so you can see. There are bounding boxes around each circle. So that means that they are now released and they are individual objects. And I am going to delete this group of circles right here. I'm going to zoom back out so we can see the whole screen. Next, I want the green and the orange circles to be one layer. So to create one layer, I'm going to select the orange layer. And then on the rhinestone panel, I'm going to select Release Rhinestones. Once the orange rhinestones are released, I am going to select both the orange and green rhinestone circles. And then I'm going to change the color to blue. With the circles still selected, I'm going to go to the top menu. I'm going to select Object and then Group. I'm going to select Object again, and I'm going to select Make Compound Path. The color will disappear, and you just have to change it back to blue, and then change your line color back to none. With all the layers complete, I'm going to align everything up back together, and then I'm going to save it as an SVG so that I can upload it into Cricut Design Space to cut it. Now to save the design as an SVG, I am going to select the entire design, and on the top menu, I'm going to select Object and then Group. Making sure the entire design is still selected, I am going to select File on the top menu. I'm going to select Save Selection, and then I'm going to select Save to Hard Drive. I am going to name my file. And then I'm going to change my Save As type to SVG. And then I'm going to select OK. To cut the design, I'm going to upload the design to Cricut Design Space. Here is the design on the canvas, and as you can see on the layers panel, here are all the layers to my design. So sometimes the design may not upload into Cricut Design Space at the correct size, so you may need to resize the design. According to Silhouette Studio, the design should be 10.961 in width and 10.550 in height. So I am going to select the entire design, and then I'm just going to check the width and the height of the design. If it is not the correct size, then I am going to correct the size. So as we can see here on the top toolbar, the width is 10.961 and the height is 10.55. So now that we see the design is the right size, I am ready to cut, and so I'm just going to select Make on the top right. On this screen, there are 4 mats. You have the silver mat for the cowboys and the star that I'm going to cut out with glitter HTV. You have the outline layer that I'm going to cut with glitter HTV. You have the blue rhinestone layer that I am going to use rhinestone flock to cut out. And then you have the inside layer that I am going to be using glitter HTV for that as well. For the layers that I am going to be using glitter HTV for, I need to turn on the mirror option. And to do that, I am going to toggle on the mirror option for all of the layers that I will cut with glitter HTV. Because I will be using Hotfix transfer tape for the rhinestone layer, there is no need for me to mirror it. So I'm going to select Continue on the bottom right. Here on the material screen, I will select the type of material the design will be cut with. To cut the glitter HTV layers, I will be using glitter iron-on material setting. I will place the glitter HTV on the cutting mat with the shiny side down. And to cut the rhinestone flock, I created my own material settings with a cut pressure of 345 with 1 pass using a fine point blade. I am going to get everything cut out and weeded and brushed in, and I will come back when at the heat press so that we can press it together. Here at the heat press, I have my first layer already placed on my sweatshirt. The sweatshirt was lint rolled and pre-pressed to remove the moisture. I'm going to press the first layer at 320 degrees for 15 seconds. I'm going to place the next layer on the shirt, making sure that I line it up inside of the layer that is already on the shirt. And then I'm going to press this layer at 320 degrees for 15 seconds. I'm going to place the star inside of the layer, making sure not to overlap it with any of the heat transfer vinyl that is already on the shirt. And then I'm going to layer in the cowboys inside as well, making sure that I do not overlap any of the glitter. I'm going to cover it with my Teflon sheet because I don't want to melt the heat transfer vinyl that's already on the shirt. And I'm going to press this at 320 degrees for 15 seconds. Finally, I'm going to press the rhinestone layer. So I'm going to place it down, and I want to place it down and make sure that it is not overlapping on any of the glitter. Once I have it positioned, I am going to press this at 350 degrees for 15 seconds. Okay, y'all, let's see. It looks so pretty. Oh my gosh, look at it. It is so cute. Oh my God, this is so cute. Guys, look, that is so cute. What do you think? Isn't that cute? Wow. All right, guys, that's all for now. I hope that you're able to follow along with my process. If you like this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond back. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.